If you're a fan of stories filled with love, betrayal, and shocking revelations, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join our storytelling family. Let's dive into this tale. Admitting it straight up, I did something terribly wrong. I cheated. What unfolded next, though, was beyond anything I could have imagined. You'd probably expect yelling, tears, broken objects, or an abrupt exit, but what came next from him still haunts me. We had been a couple for 4 years. His name was Mark. He was gentle, reserved, and endlessly supportive. Not one for grand gestures, he disliked public attention, loathed surprises, and didn't even care for birthdays. Yet, he loved me. Or perhaps he loved the version of me he believed in. Enter Drew, someone I met at work. Our connection was far from insignificant. Drew was the total opposite of Mark. Boisterous, witty, and full of surprises. He brought back a sense of vitality into my life, or so I convinced myself as I tried to rationalize the late-night messages and hotel receipts is the lies. I was living 2 lives, one with the man who would do anything for me, and one with the man I should have never entertained in the first place. I never meant for it to go on for months, but it did. Mark had no idea, at least I thought he didn't. He was still making dinner for me after work, rubbing my feet when I complained about long meetings, and asking how my day was with those soft brown eyes that used to make me feel safe. Then one night, out of nowhere, he told me to dress up. I blinked at him, confused. Dress up for what? He smiled. I planned something, just trust me. That should have been my first clue. Mark never planned anything spontaneously. I asked 100 questions on the way, but he stayed quiet, just holding my hand a little tighter than usual. He drove us to this luxurious spa resort out of town. Candlelit dinner, wine waiting in the room, rose petals on the bed, the works. I felt sick. It was romantic. Too romantic. I didn't deserve any of it. Every gesture felt like a knife twisting deep in my guilt. I questioned why he was putting us through this. As we lay in bed, I asked Mark, who turned to me and replied, "Because I love you, and I want us to start afresh." The word reset reverberated in my mind all night. I came close to spilling everything, but fear held me back. Instead, I concealed my turmoil, attributing it to work stress. Mark didn't press further. Back home, I tried to end things with Drew, but he made it challenging. Relentlessly calling, showing up at my workplace, pleading for me not to return to the mundane relationship. I requested space, but Drew's grip was firm. A week later, Mark suggested I take a day off work for a surprise. Nervous about what it might entail, I hesitated but eventually agreed. On the journey, he blindfolded me for the final stretch. Attempting to lighten the mood, I playfully remarked, "Seriously?" Mark's response was cryptic, "You'll soon understand." I stepped out and found myself in front of the house. It was a stunning new building, large, white, and beautiful, leaving me speechless. Mark then handed me a small black box and revealed that it was ours, our new home. I was taken aback, asking him if he had bought the house without my knowledge. He responded with a smile, explaining that he wanted it to be a surprise, a gift. Overwhelmed, tears began to well up in my eyes at his generosity and thoughtfulness. Unable to contain my emotions, I had a breakdown and confessed everything to him right there in front of the new house he had purchased for our future. Despite my revelations about Drew and the duration of the affair, Mark remained silent, his expression calm and composed. Eventually, he suggested going inside, which left me confused and anxious. As we walked into the empty house with no furniture or personal touches, I couldn't comprehend his serenity and lack of reaction to the bombshell I had just dropped on him. The room was devoid of any color, its walls pristine white. Leading me to the living room, he pointed at a small table in the center where a laptop sat. "Sit," he instructed. I complied, and as he opened the laptop and played a video, I was shocked to see footage of me and Drew in a hotel room, kissing, laughing, and unclothed. Gasping, I tried to close the laptop, but he prevented me, allowing more clips to play, each from different times and places, all clearly incriminating. How did you... I struggled to speak. "I knew," he stated, I've known for a while I just needed proof, and I needed time. Time for what? I whispered through tears. Without a word, he moved towards the front door. Trembling, I followed him as he tapped on his phone and handed it to me. There, a signed copy of divorce papers in my email, I purchased the house in my name alone. You're not on the deed. The key was never meant for you, he said sternly. I wanted you to realize the weight of your deceit, what you've lost. But why? Why not just leave me? I cried. His gaze was cold, void of emotion. As he looked at me, I deceived you into believing you would receive everything. Love, forgiveness, and a future, just to cruelly snatch it away. After that, he walked out, leaving me alone in a home I would never inhabit. Returning to what used to be our shared apartment, I found my belongings neatly packed by the door. The locks already changed by him. The following week, news of Drew reached my workplace, spreading quickly through office rumors. Instead of contesting the changes made by HR involving my position, I accepted them. Drew disappeared after Mark uncovered incriminating evidence, possibly out of fear of legal ramifications or embarrassment. In the end, I received the consequences I had brought upon myself. Sometimes, the most brutal form of retribution isn't portrayed through outbursts or door slamming, but by leading someone to believe they are cherished before yanking away the support beneath them. The gift Mark gave me wasn't a house. It was a reflection, revealing the true nature of who I had become.